Hi everyone, welcome to Deadline Dilemmas. Pras, how you doing, my friend?
I'm very well, man. You finally had a very good week. Why don't you tell us how you're doing?
Listen, you see the big smile I've got, Pras? I've had a
I
good
do.
week, like you said. It was about time, eh? Everything fell into place. 80 points. So it was a lovely
You
big
know what
green
they
arrow.
say? The cream rises to the top, and also Mo has good weeks sometimes.
Exactly, yeah. I was about to say, I thought you were saying if I was thinking there's got to be something in there because I'm not getting carried away. One
No,
game
I'm
week,
kidding. I'm
no
kidding.
chance for me. Let's hope we can build on that, Pras. How was
We can.
your game
We
week?
can. I had a good week as well. I got what 75 points. A game week rank of exactly 460,000. So that's
Oh,
a nice thing.
wow. That is
Um,
quite nice,
and
yeah.
uh, and the overall rank is 24955. So just under 25k, which is frankly like better than what I had all season, except for game week 38. So it's great.
It's actually unreal start to the season, Prez. I mean, you cannot ask for anything better than that. Like
I mean, I
literally,
could have asked for a higher rank, but
what
I'm
to be
joking. I'm
first?
joking.
I was
I'm
about to
kidding.
say,
I'm
come on,
kidding.
mate, come on, come on. We're
I
already
mean, I
all
was just
envious.
answering your question mathematically. But yeah,
Yes,
I agree. I agree. No, it's
but
good.
yeah,
Very
I had a
happy.
good
Very
week.
lucky.
You know what, Prez? Can I be honest with you? I was being greedy, so I had one more player in the Monday night game, West Ham v. It was Fabianski. I was thinking, go on,
Oh,
get a clean sheet, go on, go on. But yeah, no
so you did
chance.
not have Cunha or Eight Nuri?
Nah,
Ah,
none.
okay. So then this was still a good day for you. Like
It was
Cunha could have
a
he could have had
very
two
good day.
penalties,
Yeah, I know. Well,
but then you should say Fabianski could have saved both of them.
then it would have been a spectacular week. But we're going to delve into our teams in a minute. But before we do that, Praz, I need to mention the mystery chip is no longer a mystery, Praz. It's finally been unveiled. I've got my opinion. I'm going to tell you in a minute. I'm intrigued to know what you think about it as well. In fact, let's get started with that. What do you think, Praz?
Um, I have to manage my words a little. Like I think it's an okay chip, right? I think a lot of thought has gone into it, which I appreciate. They've tried to do something different. They've tried to bring a new element to the game. Fantasy football is about picking players and assessing how players do. When you start getting into teams, which is basically this what this chip is, you have to basically predict results. Then you're getting into a different game. It's almost like playing sleeper or some other game where you're actually just
Yeah,
sort of looking at betting odds and looking at how the teams will do. So it's a little bit innovative, but what I don't like is that they've overly complicated it. Like you have to buy the manager, you have to actually separate out funds to get the manager. Like let's assume the chip is available tomorrow, right? So forget about game week 24. Let's say it's available tomorrow, and you say, "Oh my God, the Arsenal are playing Everton. I must get Arteta." Well, you can't because you have triple Arsenal. So you go, okay, fine. I'll buy the chip because Arsenal are playing Everton. But then you go, oh, I can't because I only have 0.5 million in the bank. I have to have 1.5 million in the bank to afford Arteta. And so it just makes it not so user friendly. And for us engaged people, it's nice. But ultimately, if I am thinking from the Premier League's point of view, why do we play fantasy football? We play to increase engagement. How many people are actually engaged geeks like us? Maybe a million? I would say
yeah,
less. So what about the other 9 million? Now, people would say, why do you care? I'm just giving my view of the chip itself. For me, it's great because there's a huge potential of this chip. That you could get like 50, 60, 70 points from this chip. So
yeah.
that's good.
Yeah, no, I'm
What
in
do you think?
agreement with you, Prez. No. So I'll start before we even talk a bit more about the actual chip itself. I was quite surprised. I thought it was going to be something very, very simple, very easy to use, almost like a big bang that make double captain or something like that. A bit more gimmicky, but like you said, easy for everyone to use. This one, it took me by surprise. It was actually a chip for, like you said, the very engaged managers because it's very tricky. Even the scoring of it, I'm not saying it's complicated. Once you read it, you understand it. But it's not, you actually have to fully read it to fully get the advantages of taking, for example, a lower level manager than a high level manager and whatnot. So yeah, it did surprise me. And it goes over 3 days. You can change the managers. So there was a lot to take in. So that really, I did not expect it. That threw me off. And
Mm,
like you said, fair play to official FPL. They made big effort. I think they've covered it pretty well overall, as in the tactical, strategic part of it. from that
Yep.
perspective. So yeah, fair play to that. But yeah, it took me by surprise, Praz. I did not expect that at all. As for, have you started already thinking about planning of when to use it? And there's another question actually, Praz, what just came to my mind. I wanted to ask you first. Do you think there's a bit of a disadvantage? So Matt, we're perfect examples of this. You've had a great start to the season. Your team value is incredible. Mine isn't. So you benefit more from this chip, right?
But that's true of any week. Like I benefit more from bench boost as well.
Of course, but in
I
this one here, you're squeezing another player in. You might as well say, Praz. You know,
Yeah,
so,
but same for bench boost. If I have a million more than you, I can spend that 1 more million on that extra
true,
bench player.
very
If
true.
I have a higher budget, when I will free hit, I'll be able to squeeze in another million. So team value has its benefits at any point. But I see where you're
Yeah,
going with it.
but at
That
least the other ones, we are aware of them. This one
yeah,
came through. You could argue, you could argue if you knew this, you might have chased team value a bit more. I mean,
maybe you're right. Look, I think
yeah,
introducing a chip that could have a variance of anything from 20 points. Like if you really botch up when you play a chip, you could get 15, 20 points. If you absolutely get lucky, you could get 80 points. So it's a chip with a variance of 60 points. This is way more than bench boost, way more than triple captain,
yeah,
way more than free hit. So to introduce a chip like this, which is not just for 1 week, it's for 3 weeks. And in the 3 weeks, you can't play any other chip as well.
no,
It's a little bit, doesn't feel like, I don't want to say fair play, but it doesn't feel like it's like we should have known all this before.
yeah.
Like I feel like an idiot that I used my triple captain when I could have basically decided. Now, I may have still made the decision that I play my triple captain in a single game week, but I would have liked to know this. I was guessing, which is not great for the game.
So on that point as well, another question, Praz. Do you think that we've used the triple captain? I used it same week as you. Do you think in some ways that was almost, it was a calculated risk we'd done it, but it's worked in our favor because now the next double game weeks, this chip we could put it into play. For example, if people that still got people that still have triple captain, is it more of a hindrance for them? Or having this, because this goes over 3 days, and you've still got triple captain and bench boost, or not really?
There's two separate things. Number one, I think the risk that people who played the triple captain took was that this mystery chip will be used in a double game week. This is true. So this chip with high potential will have even higher potential in a double game week. The thing that led to the risk backfiring is the fact that there was wind in Liverpool. And the wind has caused a double game week for Liverpool. So now people who have a triple captain can use a triple captain in 1 week, which I think people are talking about game week 24. Let's see if people end up captaining Salah away to Bournemouth, away to Everton. It's
Yeah,
not the best. So again, I would argue people who've used it in a single have gotten away with it a little bit because it's a good double, but it's not a double where I'm absolutely afraid where
yeah,
it's
yeah, yeah.
Wolves at home and Everton away. It's Bournemouth away. Bournemouth have beaten Arsenal. Bournemouth have beaten Man City. They're a good team. Now,
They're a
Salah
very
can
good
do
team.
well still,
Yeah,
but it's not a huge miss. So I don't mind it. And then the one flexibility you have if you use your triple captain, you have two doubles to think about when you want to use it. You can be a little bit more flexible with your approach. You can think about maybe using this mystery chip in game week 36, 37, 38. Like this is the one that I feel has the highest potential. Game week 36, 37, 38. Why? Game week 36 is a double.
yeah,
Game week 37, game week 38, what's going to happen is you will have teams at the bottom 5 of the table that are going to be going for it, right? So let's name them Everton, right?
yeah.
Actually, let's not be lazy. Everybody uses Everton. Um, let me go Premier League table. Hold on. All right. So let's say that team is right now it's Crystal Palace. I don't think it'll be Crystal. Let's do Everton or West Ham.
Yeah,
One of these teams, reasonable chance of being bottom 5, right? Because I think Crystal Palace will move up eventually. So if it's Crystal Palace or if it's West Ham or if it's Everton and they're playing Fulham, who are more than 5 places above, Fulham have left the building by game week
yeah,
37. They
yeah.
don't care. They're
They
maybe
don't.
playing
Yeah,
youngsters. They're on the beach. I play my chip and I back Sean Dyche to beat Fulham. And I think that's a great bet to take because then you get, people now know about the mystery chip. You get like a 10-point bonus
yeah. It's
if you cause
huge.
an upset.
Absolutely huge.
So game week 36, first you get the double. Then you can make a transfer, get someone like a Sean Dyche, get someone like whoever is the manager of West Ham at that point. Maybe Crystal Palace are still struggling at that point. Get them against a team that is on the beach, and then you basically can maximize. And you know what? At that time, goals also happen a lot more, right? So you're backing basically if it happens, if you happen to even lose 5-4, you got 4 points for the goals,
Yeah.
or it happens to be a 3-3. It you got the table bonus, and you got 3 goals. So I think there's a bonanza that you can take advantage of in game week 36, 37, 30. I'm not saying that's the best window, but you can see that there is so much upside with this chip, especially because of this table bonus where you can get very lucky and actually just massively get advantage.
And from that perspective, that's why me and you both said fair play to them, because there is a tactical element to it. Because you could just take the lazy option and say, for example, not many of us are tripled up in Liverpool. And by then, Liverpool could be challenging for the league, and you might just go slot 3, 6
Yeah.
points. You know what I mean, Prez? Like you said, you could take that route as well.
You can,
Maybe,
and
maybe the
actually,
ceiling's not as high, but they're consistent. Liverpool will be challenging, so they're going to be going for every game.
yeah, I agree with you. I agree with you. So there's some options. Look, I just don't like the fact that they've made it complicated. They could have had the same chip without adding to the fact that it adds to a third player in that team, without adding a
Yeah,
transfer. You could just play the chip, right? Like when I play my triple captain, I don't need to release 0.5 million. That's annoying. When I play my triple captain chip, it doesn't say, "Oh, now you've triple captain Haaland. You can't have any other Man City players." We don't have
yeah,
those kind of constraints.
that
It's a
complexity.
chip which you
Yeah,
play when it's your gut feel. Like let's say I want to reach game week 27, and in game week 27, Newcastle play Nottingham Forest. And at that point, Newcastle are showing form. They're coming up. They're winning every game, and Nottingham Forest are just coming down. But the gap between them is 5 spots. And I'm going to say Newcastle, Nottingham Forest. I'm going to play the chip. But wait a minute, I don't have 1.5 million in the bank. So it's that thing that they've taken away, which I don't love. It should just be an instinctive chip. I like
just
it. I'll play it.
yeah. Am I right in saying, Prez, we're going to need to have transfers almost saved up before and after? Because when you activate it, do you still need to use a transfer, or does it bring in instantaneously?
It's
I'm assuming
interesting. It doesn't use a transfer to
it
bring
doesn't
in.
use a transfer.
No,
Okay, but to change the manager though for the second
which
week,
you
that's a
should.
transfer.
Which you should. I think because this chip is so powerful,
Yeah,
once you activate it, let's say in game week 26 you activate it, right? Then you realize that in game week 27, let me use a good example. Wolves are home to Fulham.
yeah,
Fulham are more than 5 places above Wolves. Wolves are showing decent form. Let's say they've changed their manager. Beautiful. I'm going to bring the Wolves manager, and I'm going to go for the table bonus that Wolves
yeah.
beat Fulham. Now that's nice. So you would rather use your transfer to go from Eddie Howe to whoever the manager of Wolves is at that time than do a boring, oh, I'm going to do Saka to Son. No, there's much more upside in Eddie Howe to this guy. So you have to save up transfers for this. You should be using this to chase upside with different managers in different weeks.
I never thought I'd be hearing that, transferring out Eddie Howe for for another manager. So it's new. I'm excited. I think when I first read about it, I was a little bit skeptical, but now I'm fully impressed. I think it's going to be, when we get closer to the period when we're going to be doing the strategic talk around it, I think we'll be enjoying that as well. Adds another
Exactly.
element.
Every week you can see it. Like Crystal Palace home to Aston Villa. They can beat them.
Yeah,
You'll get 10 points bonus if they beat them, plus the 6 points if they. So 16 points.
that's
16
huge.
points is a hat trick
That I was about to say that. Like, it's ridiculous
for a
for you to get
striker.
that from a strike. Yeah, for a striker,
Yeah.
it's like rare you get that. It's a monster.
So I mean, hat trick is 17 points for a striker. But I'm saying is you pick Crystal Palace to beat Aston
Yeah.
Villa and they end up beating. Actually, it'll be more than 16 because they'll obviously score goals if they've beaten them.
Oh yeah.
So
Okay.
you will get 16 points for the win, for the goals, for a clean sheet. You're looking at a 20-pointer if you call Crystal Palace versus Aston Villa. This is the potential of the chip. It's massive.
I've seen the excitement. A lot of my friends were messaging me, Mo, explain this to me. What was it? And I was like, give me a chance. So it has brought the hype around it, albeit with what we said, a bit more complicated than we thought it would be. The hype is still there. So I'm glad you've cleared that up. So I can tell you've already done some research. You've probably already started to earmark some weeks. I've not started to do that yet, Praz. I've got to be
I
honest
have.
with you. Have you
I
already?
have.
So you've already got stuck in. I've not done that yet. I'm not look far ahead, but eventually in this Christmas period, I will be. So then I think we will be aligning. We'll be talking about this very soon.
Yeah, and if people want to, basically, if they're going through this conversation and going, I'm not fully sure of this chip. I did a video for the FPL Wire yesterday, which is Wednesday night, where I explained the chip in detail in terms of what are the mechanics, but also some strategies around it. Like I talked about this game week 36, 37, 38. I talked about this opportunity to do it in 26, 27, or sorry, 27, 28, 29. Because what will happen in game week 29 is some teams will be in the Carabao Cup final.
Yeah.
What do teams like to do a week before if they're in the final? Rotate their players.
Rotate, of course.
What does that mean? There's more likely to be an upset.
Yes.
So there's another opportunity. So things like this, I think it'll be exciting. It'll be planning, and we love planning. We like excitement. So
I'm gonna definitely check that out now, Pras. Now you've said that, because I've not started to do no strategic thinking regarding this. I just digested it yesterday and today, but yeah, I will be getting stuck into it. Right, that's enough of this mystery trip. We'll park it. We'll come back to it. Let's go straight into our teams. We both had good weeks, like we said in the introduction. But I'm going to tell you how my team's looking for this week. So I've got 2 free transfers, 0.4 in the bank. I've not made a move yet, Prez. Currently, Sells in goal. And then I've got the double Arsenal, Gabriel, Timber, and Hall. Okay, that can change. We're going to discuss that in a minute. It's
that's a
nice. Yeah,
beautiful defense.
it is looking good, Prez. Yeah.
Mhm.
Midfield, Salah, Bumo, Saka, Semenyo, and Palmer. Palmer's currently captain. We will come back to
Beautiful
that as well.
midfield.
And up front, Isaac and João Pedro. So on the bench, Fabianski, Raul Jimenez, who was a star for me last week, Praz. He came on because I needed him because of the delays, because of Salah, and he got me the 8-pointer. So that's what it was. That was an extra bonus there. So I couldn't complain there. Greaves, who's a problem, Lewis, who's a problem, and Gabriel's currently yellow flagged. So first thing I'll say to you, Praz, with the 2 free transfers, that my immediate concerns, because the team does look good, like you just said, is the defense. The reason is, obviously, Greaves is a random. He could play, he could not play. He doesn't either go on the bench. He either starts or not even on the bench, because the manager doesn't like a centre back on a subs bench, which is strange. Lewis is definitely not playing, which means if any of these 3, which is possible, because Timber got the rest midweek, which is a positive, didn't he? So that's a big plus.
Timber's going to be fine.
Timber's going to be fine. So that, in theory, I should have Timber and Hall pretty good. The worry for me is Gabriel, and we've had some updates now. I think since there was a hamstring issue, but obviously we're not going to get much from Arteta. So we are going into lottery territory, Praz. So the first thing I was considering, I think it's almost a bit of an obvious move, is to move Lewis to a Liverpool defender, which is Trent. I can afford either Trent or Van Dijk. Trent is the favorite for me, Praz. Okay.
What? How? You have 0.4 in the bank.
I didn't mention it's Mbumo to Enzo. I'm just going to come to that. I should have done it in that order, really, to make sense. Yeah. Apologies. But so it's the double move. It has to go together. So, and I was comfortable with the Enzo move. I've been more than happy. On one of my videos, Praz, I went into full detail regarding him and the expectations.
Enzo's good, man. Enzo's
very good. Very good, Praz. For that price, that Chelsea attack is flying. And as I said, I'm being a realist. I'm being a realist. 5 million or 4.9. I think he's 5 million now, isn't he? Because I didn't go early, midweek. But it's perfect because I can rotate him with Raul Jimenez, if that makes sense. Because Raul Jimenez after Liverpool, all of a sudden he's into Southampton and the fixtures look good and Fulham are flying. It's really good. Yeah, it's worked out because at one stage, Praz, if I didn't do that, if Gabriel was fit, I'm going to be honest with you. I'll tell you the second option I was thinking about. It almost sounds maybe nowhere near as good, but I was considering at one stage Mbumo to Enzo and Raul Jimenez to Jackson. Yeah, I was at one stage, but now I think about it, Raul Jimenez is not too bad. I know he's a 70-minute player, 75 minutes player, but he does seem the number one.
I mean, my move in a couple of weeks is Cunha to Raul Jimenez. So people will be buying your player.
They will be. Sell your player? So that's the reason. But can I be honest with you? It only came to what I was trying to think. There's a lot of the teams now are becoming, when I look in my mini league, a little bit more templatey. This midfield is very popular now. And I was thinking a lot of people put money, that Haaland money and Mbumo money has gone into defense. And I was thinking, Press, can I do something a bit different to almost go against it? And I thought Isaac, and people have either Isaac or Jackson, but I thought, can I have both of them? That was the thinking, if I'm honest with you. But like you just said, that's trying too hard. Jimenez fixtures are going to be good. He's playing really well.
Yep.
He was unlucky in the last, say, 5 weeks, Praz. I should have got more points off him. He really underperformed.
Absolutely. Yeah. I mean, he somewhat made up in the Arsenal game where he had 1 shot, 1 goal, but you should have got more goals before.
Yeah, definitely, Praz. You are right, yeah. So I've gone back to the thinking 100%. I'm almost certain. I've not made the moves because I don't think there's no more price rises at the moment. In Mbumo to Enzo and Lewis to Trent. And I would leave, what I would do, I would line up with Gabriel Timber, and Trent and leave Hall as my first sub, even though he's got a beautiful fixture, Leicester at home.
Nah,
But
I wouldn't do that.
you wouldn't.
Why would you? This is the one fixture for Hall where there is upside. Like,
Yeah,
when else will you play Hall ever?
but he's never. No, I would play him when I need him, but he's not really the most attacking. No, Praz. I mean, I don't see
I would
if.
almost bench Enzo, man.
No, man. That one, I'm thinking about it. No, I think if Enzo, especially the way Chelsea are playing at the moment, they really have that spring in their step, Praz, with the attack. Even when he dropped deeper against Spurs, when Maresca changed things around, that's where he got the goal. Chelsea press you so high up with that
So you'll
confident
do
at the
Lewis to Trent.
Yes, Lewis to Trent. Yeah. So the defense I'd be starting basically exactly like this, but just swap out, put Enzo in, and then put Trent in, and put Hall first. Or second sub, because I still have Raul Jimenez as first sub. I prefer the attacker.
Fair.
I
Okay,
just
we'll
think
do
in
that.
my mind, Praz, I know what you're saying. This is the money fixture for Hall. I know. And he's actually going to go up in value. People are buying him in, but I don't have
Do you
confidence
have
in
to
him.
make any transfer? Can you not save?
I could. The gamble would be Gabriel doesn't play Praz, then I play with 10.
No,
That's
Greaves could play.
No, but it's another unknown. He didn't play the last game, Praz. He wasn't
He
even in the
didn't
squad.
because he played the midweek
Yeah,
and
but
he's
then
coming back from injury.
But is that going to be confirmed? I mean, it's making me think the teams and the fixtures this week are so nice.
All I'm
Why?
saying is you're making two transfers to solve one small problem, which may not
Yeah.
even be a problem.
Well,
Like
the other
the
problem is Mbumo. We got lucky with him last week against Newcastle, but the fixtures and they're not
but
great. And
Mbumo's away to Chelsea is similar because he's on pens and set pieces to Enzo at home, no?
yeah, but then Chelsea's a far superior team. I know they've got they've got a bad record against them. I know. I had to check the history behind this prize, but I fancy Chelsea. I think Chelsea. When we look at the table in a minute, Chelsea are pretty comfortable favourites this week. You know, for goals, prize.
I mean, up to you. I think you should sleep on it. If this was my team, I would just save.
You reckon? Yeah.
Because for you to be, let's say, down to 10, you
Yeah.
first need Gabriel to miss out. Even though today there was some news that they're hopeful that he should be okay.
Yeah.
So Gabriel will miss out. Then you're saying Greaves will also completely miss out.
Yeah.
Then you have a problem.
Yeah.
I think it's not, I would say it's unlikely. Like it can happen, but it's
It can
unlikely
definitely
that both
happen.
players are. Yeah, but is it probable?
I don't know. My confidence level with Arteta and Gabriel is potluck. We don't know. Do they think they've got enough to beat Everton without risking Gabriel? I mean, they're challenging for the Prem. They're going to need him. Without a doubt, that partnership is the key to their success in the league. So does Arteta think, don't risk him, especially if it's a hamstring injury, don't risk him and beat Everton without him. So that's one player down. And Greaves, I really don't get that. Praz, I know what you said. He missed it, and because of the midweek, and they're just looking after him
Because he was training with everyone.
Yeah.
Even in the
he
game,
was
he was
fit.
not on. Yeah.
Yeah, he was fully fit. Even the manager, I think, said,
For me, he starts Wolves. Not that you'll get any points out of him, apart from one or two. But then, look, I have a similar team with similar problems.
Yeah.
When we'll come to it, I'll explain. But I'm going to leave it. But then I am doing the Mbumo to Enzo move. But that's because I don't have a Timber. I don't have a second defender.
Yeah.
So I'm trying to
so you're
solve
in a
my
worse
second
off
defense.
position. Yeah.
But I have 3 free transfers. So it's the same thing effectively.
Okay. Yeah, I get you.
So anyway, we can go to my team if you
Let's
like.
go,
But first,
actually.
let's
That's a
talk
good
about
segue.
captaincy.
All right. Let's go back to captaincy. So I'm currently comfortable with Palmer. Do you remember, Praz, our video last week? I said to you, I was going Palmer before the Liverpool game cancelled. I lost out there because all of those managers went over. I was fully... I mean, to be fair, there's a lot of unknown. Salah could have outscored him anyway, but I just think the gamble, I was comfortable with Palmer, albeit it was double penalty, but still. And this week again, I'm pretty comfortable. I've seen the news, Praz, with Fulham, with the injuries and whatnot. So they've got defensive issues, but I look at them as a more organised unit, Fulham, this season than Brentford. And I just fancy Palmer again this week. What's your take on the captaincy?
So I am completely 50-50, man. I don't know. Like maybe 51 Palmer as well, which is why I have it.
Let's go to your team as well while we're talking about
But
captains.
today, it was in the news that Fulham have no centre backs. Bassey is injured and Anderson is out. So then you're thinking, dude, am I being silly? Because Salah's going to be another 130, 140% owned. Palmer is going to be 80, 90% owned. Why bother? You're 25K. Like, what are you trying to do here? Uh, so there's a little bit of a devil and an angel talking to me every night. And so I'm trying to see. I don't have an answer. If deadline was tomorrow morning, I would be on Palmer. Let's see what the press conferences bring tomorrow.
Fair. I think the captaincy this week is really juicy. I think there is an opportunity. Maybe from your perspective, you're doing well. I'm not sure if that hinders, if that's in your mind, Preza. Is that you being defensive? Because you mentioned EO there, and
Yeah.
you're doing really well. So that's what it is. Does that mean though? The flip side is there big potential for managers who are trying to make gains? Saka, for example, did you see his performance midweek? He was outstanding.
Yes.
And
He
this
has been
fixture,
incredible.
I know, Praz, and this fixture is a gorgeous fixture. What's
It
stopping
is.
managers going there?
Not much. I
Not
think
much.
Isak, Saka are pretty much behind. Even Haaland are pretty much
Yeah.
just one tier behind Palmer and Salah. So I think they're all good shouts.
Yeah.
So I, but I would still say there's enough option between Palmer and Salah that you don't need to go Saka or Isak, because Saka and Isak still have a team which can sometimes the attack and disappoint
Yeah.
on their day.
Agree.
The way Chelsea and Liverpool are going, they can score 3 goals any game,
Yeah.
and
I'm in
you'll probably
agreement with
back
you.
them. So, and they're both like big, although Saka and Isak are also talisman. Like, this team is disgustingly good, right?
Yeah.
Like, everyone who has these four guys, it's disgustingly good because their fixtures are amazing. They're on penalties, all four of them. They're talisman for their team. If there's 2 goals, you know they've scored one,
Yeah.
or
And
they've at
they're
least
all at
been
home as
involved
well,
in one.
Praz.
Yeah, they're all at home.
Yeah.
It should be a good week, man. What can I say? But then variance will always variance. Like, it will always happen that one of them will score 12, one will score 2, one will score 8, one will score 16.
Yeah. And
You
you
don't know
need to
which one
be
you're
on
on.
the right. I was about to say that, Praz. I'm hoping for the second week I can be on the right side. I really hope so, because this week I was at one stage considering Isaac, but then I thought no. The midfielders, I just thought no. This week I like Palmer. At the moment, I'm like you. Something drastic will have to happen for me to change my mind. You're a
Isak's
bit
going to
more
be on
closer.
higher goal scoring odds than Haaland this week, which is incredible. Like,
That
how the
is,
game has changed.
I know, I know, I know. Well, none of us saw the City. What happened to City? I mean, you saw it pretty early, to be fair, but none of
That
us,
was just
majority of
luck,
us
man.
didn't. The majority of us didn't expect Praz for them to go for it to go this pear shaped with them. So that it's a different circumstance. Take us through your team then, Praz.
So Raya in goal, 8 Nuri, Gabriel, and Pinnock. So Pinnock's going to become Trent. I've already
Hmm.
got the money. So he's just there because I will make the transfer when I need to, right? Trent is not rising, Pinnock is not dropping. Why should I bother? So I'll
Yeah,
do it tomorrow. I'll do it Saturday morning, whatever. Then Saka, Enzo, Palmer, Salah. So I have done the Boomer to Enzo move. I did that before Enzo was rising.
yeah.
Why? Because I can. Like, I had 3 free transfers, so
I
I
was
used
about
one.
to say, yeah,
Yeah. When you have 3, it's also a benefit of having 3. Like, you don't care. Like, okay, in midweek, if Salah gets injured, okay, I get Haaland. I have 2 more free transfers, right? So it's not the end of the world. When you have 3, you can be a
so
little bit more
true.
aggressive.
Yeah.
So that's the midfield, and then the attack, like, disgustingly good, man. Like, Isak home to Leicester, João Pedro home to Crystal Palace, Cunha home to Ipswich. So this is probably the last week with the Wolves boys. Like, maybe I'll give them Leicester away as well. Maybe not 8 Nuri, but Cunha definitely I'll give him Leicester away. But, like,
What's
this
your
is it. Like,
what's your feeling on Cunha, Prince? I mean, we know we rate him; he's a good player. But have you seen
amazing
where
player.
he's a class player? He won't be at Wolves next season. We know that. It's where he's been having his shots from. I mean, you're requiring a worldie at the moment, Prince. If that continues, because he's basically outside the area, 30-yard curlers and whatnot. They're difficult to get the returns from there.
Well, that's the goals. So Cunha has assists in him as well. So when
That's
we were
true.
doing, remember
Yeah,
6 weeks ago when we were all debating cheap striker,
yeah,
we were
yeah,
comparing Cunha to Strand Larsen, to Welbeck, to
yeah.
everyone, Ivan Nilsson. And what did we say? We said all strikers are all meh, like, they're all good, nothing amazing.
Yeah.
But Cunha and João Pedro have some assist potential because they play almost like an attacking midfielder.
Hmm.
And we like that because they can get XA and bonus. And that's what Cunha gives you. He gets 1 return, he'll probably get 2 or 3 bonus.
Yeah.
So that's the potential with Cunha. Whether he'll score a goal or not, that depends on, like, I feel if I own Cunha for 7 weeks, he's given me 3 goals already or 4 goals. That's
Yeah.
more than what I wanted. So he can blank now. Next couple of games, I'll still have happy memories with Cunha. People, if they're expecting him to score every game, you're going to be very disappointed.
You're
Like,
gonna be.
even Even Isak, Saka, Palmer, and Salah will not score every single game. How can you expect these cheap players from shit teams to do well? Like
Yeah.
score every game. So João Pedro won't score every game. Cunha won't score every game. If they get one return every other game, maybe a goal, two returns in 3 games, be delighted, be very happy, and we'll see.
Yeah. Yeah, no, you're right. I just thought I'd mention it because I think a lot of people have been getting nervous. I've been looking at a lot of people selling him and whatnot. But I'm in agreement with you. At that price, the next I think he deserves the next two fixtures. You know, I know they're
Yeah.
struggling at the moment. They really are struggling. I mean, I'm surprised the manager's still there. But yeah, the team looks good. Eight Nori, you still happy to play him as well? You got you the assist against West Ham. There's
Oh,
no clean
definitely.
sheets there, so it's just you're looking for realistically a return, isn't it, Praz? An attacking return.
When it's Ipswich at home, it's one of the top 2-3 fixtures that a Wolves can have. Wolves can't play Wolves. So pretty
Yeah,
much their best 3 fixtures are to play the 3 promoted teams. So
yeah.
this is one of the best. The next one is also Leicester away. If I need to play Nuri, I will. Pretty much if they're playing a back five, that's lovely. I like it. So that's where we are. I think you play your Wolves guy. So this is where I am. I don't have a second defender. This is why I needed to do the Mbumo to Enzo move so that Pinnock can become Trent. After
Okay.
this, my team looks a bit similar to yours, where I have one free transfer left. I have Gabriel, I have Greaves, and I have Lewis. So same exact problem.
Yeah.
But I'm willing to leave it. Like I'm gonna roll.
You're gonna
Unless
gamble it.
Gabriel is well, firstly, Arsenal is the first fixture. So we'll see if he's in the hotel or anything. We love our investigative FPL journalism. So we'll find out if Gabriel is at the hotel, if he's been, and if we truly think he's out, then I might do Lewis to Colwell. That would be my move. I wouldn't get something else. I would just get Lewis to Colwell.
And
Um,
is your plan with Enzo? We touched on him a little bit because that's going to be more than likely my move. Although you think potentially sleep on it, maybe hold. Is your plan as well to rotate him with your third striker eventually, Brian? If Rogers does Rogers come back, or does he just rotate with whoever's got the best fixture between, say,
him and
Cunha?
Rogers.
Yeah.
No, I mean my strikers will play every game. It's about fourth and fifth midfield.
Okay.
So Enzo or Rogers in 3 weeks will become Eze. That's the plan by game week
Okay.
19. Eze has Southampton home in game week 19. So Enzo is like on a 3 week trial. Like you get a player on trial and you see them, they train with the players, you put them out for a little bit of friendly matches. And so Enzo's on trial for my team for 3 weeks. In 3 weeks, if he proves himself and if he shows potential as an academy product in my team, then I will give
He
him a
stays.
full-time contract and then I will sell Rogers for Eze. If he shows that he has an attitude problem, doesn't shows up late for training, and is not fit for purpose for my team, Enzo will go for Eze. That's the
Yeah.
plan.
Okay, so one of them that's what that spot becomes. You've earmarked it for that. Fair play.
Because
So
I
that's
want that fifth cheap midfielder to be my eighth attacker, not my seventh attacker. So that's the idea, that I don't want to be committed to playing Enzo or Rogers every single week. I don't like that structure. But that's because
I,
I have disgusting team value and I can take that
yeah.
slot up to
I was
Eze. A
about
lot
to
of people who
say,
are doing this may have to do it. I don't love it, but if I was also of low team value, maybe I would love it more.
yeah, yeah, totally agree. That's one of the advantages, like we touched on earlier on. Not just the chips, just the players in general, just for your squad. And you said earlier on, Cunha eventually to become Raul Jimenez.
That's how I will afford Rogers up
That's
to Eze. Cunha to Jimenez is, I think, a million and a half,
yeah.
because Cunha is now 7 or 6.9. Raul Jimenez is 5.4. So that's 1.5 million. Rogers is 5.2. Eze is 6.5. That's where the money comes. That's how I'll do it.
Team's lovely, Prez. I think I've finally reached similar teams to you now. I think we're in a really good position. I checked earlier on using the Scout membership area. The predicted points look pretty good as well, Prez. So, but FPL doesn't always go like that. So
Never
let's
does.
see. But before we go, actually, I wanted to touch on this quickly. Just the projected goals and clean sheet odds, just to almost reinforce our captain chat and whether we're thinking correct. So look at Newcastle. They predicted to score near 3 goals, Prize. That's why the Isaac chat, like you said earlier on, is Chelsea 2.75. It's really hard to look past Palmer. Chelsea are actually, I was checking their records, Prize, for one of my videos. They've this current Chelsea team, I know it's still early in the season, is scoring at a ratio no other team in Chelsea history, Premier League's been doing it. Like that's what the numbers they're putting down at the moment, 2.6 goals per game. It's crazy. They're flying. Their attack at the moment, Praz. Obviously, it's not going to be sustainable for the rest of the season, but still, that's the reason Palmer is almost locked for me. Even
They're
though
basically
Liverpool,
Yeah. No, no, go on.
And I was going to say, even though Liverpool's numbers look just as gorgeous, but maybe it's because I'm the fan, and I've watched Fulham and I saw what they done to Arsenal. Maybe that's in my head. But like you said, I should consider the centre back injuries, and it's at Anfield. But I am keen on Palmer this week. Yeah,
And minutes should be similar because there's Carabao Cup in the middle. And
yeah,
so, like, Salah and Palmer are both going to miss out. In fact, Saka could miss out. Isak could miss out. Like, it's all your players should get 80, 90 minutes.
totally agree. I think a lot of people were upset that Slot played Salah so much in the Champions League game, which we didn't even need to win. We didn't play that great actually, and we still got to win. But people don't realize players can't just be off for like 2 weeks. They need minutes in their legs, so he had to play them. There was no saying no matter. And I'm like you. The minutes for all of the key players for me are locked in. Arsenal won't risk a rotation at this. They need to. The Premier League's too tight. Liverpool as well. So yeah, I think we're more than comfortable.
The one thing in my head is because you have double Chelsea attack, which you and I
Yeah,
will have with Enzo and Palmer.
yeah.
If you captain Salah, and let's say Chelsea smash it, right? Chelsea score 5 against Brentford.
Mm-hmm.
You may make gains from Enzo, a couple of returns from Enzo as well in that 5-0, right? So even though you picked the wrong captain, you were a little bit hedged by having 2 Chelsea attackers, or opposed to the opposite, where you had already double Chelsea attack, you captain Palmer, but it's Liverpool who score 5 against Fulham. So
Yeah.
one thing to think about.
Yeah, no, yeah, you can. It helps with a little bit more coverage, but the reality is when you just get it on the money, like Palmer, what we done last week, it's a game changer for the game week. The gains are just, I saw in my mini leagues, Praz, you must have seen as well, some that went Saka and stuff. The difference is ridiculous.
Yeah.
And
On weeks like this, you go through your mini leagues and go, haha, you captain Saka.
I
Haha, you
know I
did.
did. You know what?
Easy
Can I be
win.
honest with you? I've not been logging in and looking because mine have been grim. I just see red arrow. But recently, the last couple of weeks, I did have a little peek and I thought, okay, this is not too bad. But yeah, I think that's the only thing I wanted to check, Praz, before we finish up. I think we've covered, I think, everything. To be fair, there's nothing really. Yeah, I think we will leave it there. That's a nice short pod, ready to go. It's a quick turnaround this week. So Praz, thank you for jumping in.
Oh, of course, my pleasure. Good to talk. Good to see you in high spirits after a good week, and hope it continues.
Thank you. Let's hope next week I'm the same again. Yeah. So good luck, everyone. And we will see you next week. Take it easy.
See you.
Bye bye.
Bye-bye.